Ronnie Reno.
Yes, sir.
Hey. Not only did you happen to be born into an aristocracy of bluegrass music with your daddy being Don Reno, but you also had an opportunity to work with one of the greatest country singers of all time by the name of Merle Haggard.
You bet.
How many years?
I was with Merle for 8.5 years, and it was a treat. It really was. The first, I had just left the Osborne brothers, Bobby and Sonny, and Merle called me up and said, "You want to come to California?" And I said, "Well, sure." He had me come out, and he was readjusting his band at that time, and he had just come off of Okie. Okie was out.
So you come right along right after Okie from the school?
Yeah, exactly. And my gosh, I didn't know what a superstar was until I started traveling with Merle. You know, I went out there and he had 2 buses, and I thought, boy, what a waste of money. You know, I said, hey, we could all travel on one bus, because I'd been traveling in a camper with Bobby and Sonny, and I reckon he's one of the first ones to start using 2 buses. Now they're using 10, but anyway, I just thought that was incredible.
Yeah.
And the very first show I'd done with Merle was the Hollywood Bowl, and you talk about, I opened the show.
Oh, man.
I literally was opening the show for Merle, and then I would stay out and sing harmony with him. And boy, I'll tell you one thing, you know. Oh, I'll tell you. Well, it gets your attention, and then we went straight from there right back up to Bakersfield and got into Buck Owens' studio. And my very first song I cut with him was "If We Make It Through December."
Yeah.
And I kicked it off.
How'd you kick it off?
Oh, let's see. Let me see if I can remember.
He might be watching. Might get you another job. All right. Okay, you know that was you.
Yes, the very first record I ever cut with him.
Well, I think there.
Sure was. Yeah.
Did you learn any of that, Cal?
Oh, I didn't show Cal. I didn't show Cal.
He don't want me playing his stuff.
Cal's watching you like a hawk, friend.
Anyway, it was a great time in my life. You know, I worked with Merle for 8.5 years, and I have yet to hear him hit a bad note.
I don't think it's possible.
I don't either. He's got the purest voice I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It was just what an experience.
You said you visited with him the other day.
I did. He called me up, and he said, "Is this the right number?" I said, "It is." He's out in California. They're doing.
So it depends on who you calling,
yeah. They're doing. Sony, I think, is doing 40 of his greatest hits, and he's recutting them, and he is basically re-singing instead of packaging them and doing. You know, they can always take the original masters and repackage, but he preferred to go in and he sings as great as always. And he said, "Boy, they're going great, Mark."
You know, one of the greatest albums I think he ever did. He did one where he went around to country churches all over the country, did gospel.
Oh, yes.
And went to churches and recorded in different churches.
Mm-hmm.
And man, what an album that was. He went to a little black church down in Mississippi, and he'd go to another church up in Pennsylvania, but he'd go to all these different churches and record with some of the choirs.
I just listened to Someday When Things Are Good on tape on the way up here to do the show.
He would. Merle believed when he wrote a song, he felt that was the hottest time and the most inspired he would ever be with that particular song. He felt like if it stayed and laid around for even a month, that he couldn't sing it the way he did when he wrote it, because he was so into it. And we would check into Holiday Inn, and he would call up a recording truck and have it come over, and we'd go down there and rent the ballroom and run right in there and record it then.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Or if he found a recording studio in Dallas, we'd record in Dallas. We'd record in Portland, Oregon. Wherever we was at, we would stop and record that song, and then he felt great about it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, but he, as you know, he's some of the greatest records in the world.
Oh, man.
Believe it or not, RFD-TV's Saturday night music lineup just got better, with the addition of Ronnie Reno and the Reno Tradition now occupying the 7 p.m. Eastern time slot, followed by a new variety show that only Branson's first family of entertainment could deliver. Presley's Country Jubilee, gospel, bluegrass, traditional country, and polka. It's all here and so much more every Saturday night. place to be is watching RFD TV. Join us, won't you?
Hello, I'm Ralph Emery. I want you to join me for Ralph Emery Live on RFD TV. I'll talk to your favorite performers about what it takes to become a legend in country music. Don't miss Ralph Emery Live on RFD TV, rural America's most important network.
I sell the morning paper, sir. My name is Jimmy Brown.
Classic music from an American legend, Mac Wiseman, the voice with a heart.
Oh, me and Bobby McGee.
14 great performances with special guests Lester Flatt and Chubby Wise, available for the first time ever on DVD. But that's not all. You get a second special DVD with 20 performances from the legendary Don Reno and Red Smiley. Reno and Smiley, one of the greatest duos in bluegrass history. Mac Wiseman, Reno and Smiley, together, an exclusive TV offer with 34 classic favorites for only $29.95. Call 1-888-707-2488 to order this special DVD set for only $29.95 plus shipping and handling. Or send your check or money order to the address on the screen or go to BlueHighwaysTV.com to place your order.
A special heart-to-heart with my friend Cal Smith, Buck Trent, Tom Brumley, and the old apple cheeks himself. Ronnie Reno. Look at him. He looks like a little kid. He always does, man. Look at that.
Cute little fella.
Well, he is cute. He's also the only punk in the whole bunch, because the rest of us old guys can all. We can talk about it, Ronnie, because we outweigh you, and we out-age you.
Well, now, wait a minute. I can still jump as high as I used to. I just can't stay up for as long.
That's true. That's true.
When I grow up, I want to be just like him.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, you were a big fan of his daddy.
That's right. In fact, his dad was my hero.
Don?
That's right, Don Reno.
Don Smiley. Don Reno and Red Smiley.
Don Hero, yeah. Don Hero. No, Don, I'm from Spartanburg, South Carolina, and Don's hometown was down there. Union, yeah. And I grew up listening to him, you know, and he played different, you know. He would play different.
First time
so I played different.
First time I ever heard you say you grew up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know you grew up yet.
Not yet.
Well, tell me about it.
But Don would play different styles, you know. He would play like that, you know, and then single string plays like that, and then the other, you know. So here's my hero. Of course, Earl Scruggs, too. I learned all the stuff that Earl Scruggs played. And when I went to Nashville in '59, I lived in a boarding house there, Mom Up Church boarding house.
Well, I did too.
Boy, there's some stories there. Did you?
What year did you go there?
In '59.
I lived there in 62.
62.
I bet
you got my bed.
I think it did. It had,
I think, yeah.
Had no banjo under the bed.
Had a banjo?
You lost
I'll say it. Yeah, I lost one.
Just tell them about that. Just so people know what I'm talking about Mom Up Church.
Mom Up Church. They was all of music. Well, it was Jimmy Day and
Carl Smith lived there.
Carl Smith, Fair and Young, the Carter family. Them Pickers. When George McCormick he was talking about. Yeah. In fact, he got me over there. It's $10 a week, I believe.
$10 a week's what it was.
$10 a week to stay, and I was in somebody else's bed, and finally they left because everybody. They come and went all the time, didn't they?
It was just it was a rock house overall.
Buddy Spiker was there.
Yeah.
Benny Williams. Jimmy Day, Buddy Emmons.
It was a rock house.
It was unbelievable, wasn't it? And Howard White, he played steel guitar with Hank Snow. Yeah. And do you have a capo with your seal?
No, I haven't.
You don't happen to have one, do you?
Right there.
No, but he had a bar that had a little thing in the top. What do you call that?
What is
Anyhow,
Stevens bar.
Okay, he filed the side down of it so he could run it under his strings and use it as a capo for the steel. Sure. So I got that thing and I looked at it, and so I took the wooden bridge off the banjo and slid that thing under there, and boy, it just rang and sustained. And back then, 1959 and 60, you couldn't get a job playing a banjo, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
You just couldn't get one because
He wants to know, are you going to give his bar back?
Go ahead. You know it's still warm? Is this electric
Hey,
bar?
that's electric bar. That's right. It's electric bar.
Sound like cousin Judy.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, but it just rang, and you know, and when I would twist the strings, it would ring, but it wasn't loud enough. So I went to Shot Jackson, who had the Show But Still Guitar Company, and he electrified it for me. And then eventually he built it sort of like a steel with fingers on it, where I could raise this thing, I could push this, and it'd raise the first string, and this would raise the second string, and I was raising them back here and lowering them up there, and that's where it come about. It Mom Up Church is.
Well, tell about Mom. She was a precious lady. She was a woman.
She was, wasn't she?
She was a woman, elderly. Was she? She was
Didn't
a widow.
somebody write a book about her?
I don't know. But she was
Howard
a widow
White,
woman.
I think,
She was a
wrote-
widow woman and had this had the boarding house there in Nashville where all the starving musicians that
Oh,
later on
man.
had to be stars.
Yeah.
I knew enough of them. I want to go to Nashville. I always go there and see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
Starving.
She was a precious woman. She cooked for
And
you.
sometimes they invite you to eat, you know, because she knew you didn't.
Yeah.
You know, because the scale was
Scale on the opera.
$7. It was $7 in the first spot, and then $3 for the second spot.
So you make $10 a weekend at the
man.
opera.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you had to, you know, to clean your shirt, you know, clean your shirt to have it clean. You needed that spot, you know.
Yeah.
And they would come and go, and then finally we got to hanging down at Tootsie's.
Yeah.
Tootsie's Orchid Lounge. Willie Nelson, Farron Young, Webb Pierce, Roger Miller, all them guys. And hey, I got 3 days out on the road. Anybody want to go? I need a bass player. Okay, I'll go. You know, I need a guitar player.
Yeah.
We'll go. Yeah, you're well familiar with Tootsie.
First time I met Roger Miller, well, the first time I met Roger and Farron Young.
Yeah.
Farron and Skeeter Davis and June Carter was on tour out in California. I was disc jockeying out there in San Jose, and they came down there to San Jose to do a show, and I emceed the show, but Roger Miller was playing drums for Farron,
Yeah.
and he had never played drums in his life. Farron said, I need a drummer, and Roger said, well, I play drums. And he come out with Farron on that job and had never played drums. He just got some drums and came out, and he said, you know.
And then he played fiddle with Willie Pearl.
Pearl never had played fiddle before.
Yeah.
And then Willie played at one time.
Willie played
with Ray Price.
Ray
didn't he?
Price. The first time I met Willie, we was on a plane from California back to, and him and Ray got on the plane in Dallas coming home, and that was Willie's last date. He had just played his last date with Ray on the road.
But at one time, Ray had Willie Nelson playing with him,
Yeah.
and Roger Miller,
Yeah.
and singing with him, and Johnny Paycheck,
Yeah.
and who?
Johnny Bush played drums
Johnny
for
Bush.
him
And
later on.
And they would come and go all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And a funny story, they'd come and go all the time for years.
Yeah.
And finally, one time, Ray got them all together, and he said, "Boys, y'all all these years have quit me, come back, quit me, come back, and quit me. He said, now I quit. I'm quitting."
Shorty Lavender told me about that deal. He said Ray gave notice to everybody and said he was quitting, and he said it made him mad when everybody accepted his news.
What a singer, man. What a singer, Ray Price.
You know,
Still is, by the way.
Yes, sir.
What a great singer.
somebody went to Texas on a tour, and they said they came back and they said, I think they have a school for Ray Price singers in Texas. Everybody down there was trying to sing like Ray.
Yeah, talking about Darryl McCall,
Yeah.
and Johnny Bush, and yeah.
But every club you walked into, you know, the singer up there was trying to sing like Ray Price.
Wow.
So you developed that style of banjo
Yeah,
playing
that style. And Porter liked
before
it.
you now.
Yeah, I did.
Before you were-
Yeah, and then Porter would come up with these songs. You know, I've enjoyed as much as this thing. Stan.
See, the first time I heard it though, when you with Bill Carlisle
yeah.
and playing it. You was playing guitar too, like that.
Oh, I played Chet style guitar and sing in a trio.
Yeah.
It was me and Bobby Seals and Bill Carlisle, one of the finest men you've ever known. But He's got the second dollar he ever made. The first one he bought a billfold with, and he's a good, great fella. But boy, we had some times. We traveled in this Volkswagen bus. It was a little old bitty thing. You know, you seen them when they first come out in 1960, and it was orange and white. And you drove, and you went to, yeah, Woodstock. You drive till you run out of gas, and you reach down and you pull this little lever, and you go 30 more miles. Well, Bill would do that, but he kept hunting cheap gas stations until we'd run out of the 30 more gallons. Yeah, 30 more miles. Yeah, it was some, and you know.
What years were you with him?
60 and 61.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing something. And I recorded Hand Me Down My Walking Cane and some things like that with him. Yeah, Have a Drink on Me. Yeah, he was something. Bobby would sit back there in the back, and she'd take the ring and turn it around and go like this. And Bill would be driving, and he'd slow down and it'd go. He'd get out. We'd be getting out. We'd be looking at the tires and everything. This went on for years, you know.
For years.
And it was, and we'd be going along, and I'd just sort of give her the sign, and all of a sudden it'd go. He'd say, "There it goes again. There it goes again." It's that right back when I said, "No, I think it's that left." And we had some funny things. We had some funny. And this gal, Bobby Seale, she, back in then days, they wore pedal pushers, you know, tight pants and pedal pusher, you know, thing. Yeah. And she had this rubber toe. It's a rubber big toe. It's a big rubber toe, but from a distance it looked real. And back then they didn't have interstates, and you had to go through, you drove through all the towns, right? The town square. Yeah. And she'd stick that leg out the window with that rubber toe. And we'd pull up to the bus stop, pull up to the corner, and you'd see him there going.
Hi everybody, I'm Marty Stewart. Well, it's almost too good to be true, but here it is. This Saturday night, the Quavy Sisters Band, Miss Connie Smith, Leroy Troy, Gary Carter, the Fabulous Approaches, and Mr. Rick Rank, Eddie Stubbs too, on the Marty Stewart Show. This Saturday night, check us out on RFD TV, the home of traditional country music.
Catch the Marty Stewart Show Saturday, June 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on RFD TV, rural America's most important network.
This is Shotgun Red, and we're taping a brand new show for RFD TV called the Shotgun Red Variety Show. And get this, you could be on the show. Just send your CD or DVD to the address on your screen. We don't care if you're 6 or 96. You don't even need a record deal. Man, if you can sing, dance, play, or even juggle, and you're really good, you might be on the Shotgun Red Variety Show. We're doing all the taping at the RFD TV Theater in Branson, Missouri, October 17th through the 30th.
I'd rather live by the side of the road.
This new DVD featuring bluegrass legend Matt Wiseman also includes performances from John Laird, Bonnie Lou and Buster, and the Shenandoah Valley Quartet. Recorded live in 1971, Sunday Morning in the Valley has such great standards as Amazing Grace, Precious Memories, and many more. A real treasure for all bluegrass fans. And there's a second DVD, The Families of Bluegrass.
Walking on the lonely side of love.
Music and interviews with bluegrass legends like Del McCoury, Dr. Ralph Stanley, the Osborne Brothers, and many more.
Everybody, I'm everybody.
That's right, 2 DVDs with 35 songs for only $29.95 plus shipping and handling. To order, just call the number on your screen or send a check or money order to Sunday Morning, 111 Shibble Drive, Hendersonville, Tennessee, 37075.
Hey, Buck.
Go, yeah.
You ain't played much banjo. I want you to play a little bit of the music.
Okay, music box dancer?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what. You know, we've had some great stories, and those were great years. But today's great times. We've all grown up, and we got some wonderful memories, and we had the opportunity to know wonderful stars and wonderful musicians, wonderful artists, and it's a special part of my life. But there's some special times too. I mean, we're all together. We all got our good health, and it's just it's great times. I think I'm enjoying now more than anything.
I'll take this from here on out.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah,
I'll take it from here on out.
We all straight arrows. And
my life is absolutely wonderful to me.
I know that Buck you had a drinking problem for years. That
March 14th was 11 years.
That hurt your health, and you totally cleaned up your life.
Oh yeah.
And all of us had to. All of us had to.
That's right. It's
Never touched stuff.
Oh, Calvin is still suspect.
Yeah. I went through a real bad time in my life. You know, I lost my son in a car wreck, and I went knee deep into a bottle, and I was into dope. You know, I was into the whole thing. You know, I was smoking them weeds and taking cocaine and doing the whole thing because I went crazy. You know, after my son got killed. And I had been more or less teetotaler up to then. You know, I had been drinking through the years, and I'd quit, you know, and but when he got killed, I went knee deep into a bottle, started smoking a pot and taking cocaine and all that. And I had to have a colon operation. That's when I really decided, you know, I was killing myself and everybody around me. And that's when I was in the hospital, I had a lot of time to think, you know. I said, you can either go ahead and kill yourself, or you can straighten your life out and try to, you know, live a good life, you know. So that's when I got out of all of it.
Well, I can attest to the fact that Cal Smith's living a good life. He lives up here in a fine place up here on the lake, and looks out over the lake, and just doing great. And of course, Buck's got his theater over there, got his morning show here in Branson. Tom's got his morning show over at 76 Music Hall, and got your family around you.
Got my boys working with me, and it's great.
Yeah. Of course, and I didn't get to tell. I want to tell this, that after you left Buck Owens, how long were you with Buck?
6 years.
6 years. Then you went with Ricky Nelson.
Right.
And traveled and played with Ricky, a great musician, just a great man of music.
To work with. That's what it
Yeah,
was,
for years. I worked a show with you one time. I remember up in Louisville, Kentucky, at a Fairgrounds Expo Hall up there, and sat and listened to you. You had a great band.
Oh, Stone Canyon Band. It was great. I was about 10 years with him.
But you're doing great, and good times in your life. Ronnie Reno's got his own television show on there. That is an award winner and just knocking people out. I'm just proud of all of you, man.
Thanks.
You've come a long way, guys.
We're proud of you too. We really are. Everybody is so proud of the Americana Network, and because it gives a lot of the folks in Branson exposure that wouldn't get exposure all around the country, and it's just great. Everybody's tickled to death of what you've accomplished here.
It's good to be back home in the Ozarks. I've been gone a long time. It's good to be back and have friends around you, and good clean air to breathe out there.
Yeah,
little Scotty running in the hills.
I'll take this from here on out, won't you?
You bet. We had some good times, but we're having better now.
I never did really care for Stan too much because I hate good singers. This guy sings better than 9/10 of you people.
I know it.
In Nashville.
I know it.
And,
that's right.
You know, but in all seriousness, though, this up here is the best of all of it for you and all of us, you know, because we beat the road so many years, and we can, you know, we can live here and be home tonight with our family, and I'm with my wife and my grandkids. And if I hadn't been playing up here, but if I get something up here, I want to have the best of all of it.
Well, I got to tell you something, son. Through the years, when the musician and the singer, the music that they surround themselves with and play in their spare time and their off time, a lot of my music is Cal Smith's. I love what you've accomplished. I love your music, Bumpkin, and all the great songs that you did through the years. It's great having you up here.
Well, if I got him, it was because of Ernest Tubb. He's the one that started for me.
We've enjoyed it. It's been great to have the friends, the stories. Giddy. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side. It'll help you every side of life. Life is like a mountain railroad with an engineer straight. You must make that run successful from the cradle to the grave. Watch the hills, the fields and tunnels, never falter, never quake. Keep your hand up on the throttle and your eye up on the brake. Here we go now. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life, yeah. It'll help you every day, it'll guide you on the way. If you keep on the sunny side of life, just like a blind man wandered along, I wouldn't let my dear stay. Just like a blind man, God gave back his sight. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. You know, one of the greatest gospel songs ever written, out the Brumley Road. Some glad morning, when this life is over, I'll fly away to that home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Play that. We sure enjoyed you on Heart to Heart. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for watching. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. I'm gonna keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It'll guide you every day, it'll guide you on the way. If you keep on the sunny side of life.